What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video back in Planet Coaster in the one, the only Time City. And this is going to be a fun episode because we actually finish up the parking lot, and this was actually the segment right before we opened the park, because we actually opened up the park after this first half of the video for the first two sections of the park, which is exciting. So what you're going to be seeing here is the finishing of the parking lot, and we actually go back to the Roman section to work on it as well in the second half of the video. So that's exciting. So the park is now officially open to the public for the first two sections, and then the Roman section is going to be opening up sometime this month. So it won't take too long to get the third section of the park open, and like I said, it's going to be kind of almost like a soft opening, like, you know, it's like with the two sections, and now the other section is going to be opening soon, and then we'll be full on working on the sci-fi area. So overall, I'm pretty happy of where we're at with the park right now, and doing some finishing touches pretty much. So the Roman section is almost complete. We'll probably have it done by the next episode that you'll see, so that's going to be cool. And we'll be into the final area and doing the last things we need to do in the sci-fi section. So pretty exciting. I hope you guys are excited for the entire series and as a whole, as it will be coming to the close in the next month or two. So I probably will completely finish it within the next month or so, which is actually very exciting for you guys, because that will be awesome. It is already available on the workshop. What is available is already on the workshop. So I don't have any of the custom stuff uploaded just yet. I'll be uploading those as soon as the park is complete. So there are no custom images or custom audio available with the opening of the park just yet, and because I'm going to save those for doing all that stuff last. I still have some recordings I have to do. I still have to actually name some of the attractions, even in the Apocalypse section, so we'll finalize that, I guess, here pretty soon, so keep a lookout for that as well. But yeah, there's going to be some touch-ups here and there for each individual sections, so there's still stuff I have to finish up and that I missed in some of the other sections that are already open, you know, so like the Jurassic section and the Apocalypse section. There's still some stuff that I noticed that I missed, so I'm gonna have to go back and finish up those. But mainly the main part in the beginning here was to finish up the parking lot, get all the lighting done for it and all the lines done. I did do some off-screen work on just some of the final line work on some of the backstage roads. So I didn't film that, but that's okay. I mean, it's what it has been the last forever, what we've been doing forever lately. It seems like an eternity, it feels like. But as you can see, the parking lot's getting lit up pretty well. And I lit up as much as I wanted to there, and then I had to finish up the lighting on the clock tower, because obviously we have to get the clock tower completed light-wise, to make sure that it is done and ready for opening as well. So it turned out pretty good. I ended up putting a lot of lights just behind the walls, so it would just illuminate at night, and it looks fantastic. I'm pretty happy with the result of the clock tower itself. So, with all this being said, there's always going to be stuff that I forget or miss within the park. So, if you're, you know, exploring the park while you have the download and you see something missing, you know, that could potentially be the reason why. Because there's still a lot of stuff out there that I need to finish up and just kind of clean up overall. So, anyways, we go and finish up this building from the last episode, I believe, and it's just going to be a couple shops in here as well. Like, there's this main entrance area is just mainly going to be tons of shops and different stuff like that. So, pretty cool stuff that I just needed to get up and finish and make sure everything looks nice and completed. So, I'm pretty happy with the results so far. of the entrance area, and there's still a couple of things I need to tweak up in there too, you know, like some of the backstage areas still need to be polished and everything like that. So there's always going to be stuff that need to be polished, no matter what. So just keep that in mind, that if you do see something, you know, I know there's stuff I need to still work on and everything, but I'm just going to slowly but surely get all those completed. Just because when I announce that this park is done doesn't mean it's fully done. There's always going to be stuff I'm going to find to work on overall, you know. And that just happens sometimes when you do make massive parks like this. There's some details that you forget to add in or just complete. So there's always that to kind of to keep an account and everything. So you know, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not perfect, and it happens. So we'll just go with the flow and hopefully continue to fix some of those areas that we forgot and different stuff like that. So anyways, some exciting news is tomorrow the DLC for Ghostbusters drops, and I'm going to be streaming that a lot tomorrow. I'm going to be playing the scenario, doing different stuff like that. It's going to be fun, so you definitely want to be there for that, for the stream. So if you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Twitch, where all the live streams happen, and to check out all of that fun content. So we are going to be live streaming the heck out of that, and I'll probably be doing a YouTube video. I'll probably post that stream on YouTube so you guys can see all the new stuff in the Ghostbusters DLC, because I'm super hyped for it to see exactly what is going to be all in that pack. So a lot of the other YouTubers that got the pack early have already got the pack and have shown it off. So if you guys want to see what's in there, be sure to check out some of those channels. I know Delay Designer's done it, Rudy Rankamel, you know, Frontier's favorites that they love to give show off early. Maybe someday I'll be in that group. We'll see. Just maybe someday I'll be a part of that elite group, and maybe after Time City's done, you know, they'll take notice of my work and say, wow, this guy really has put in a lot of work for this game, you know. Maybe that's kind of the idea that I want to go for eventually. But anyways, I can't wait for the Ghostbusters DLC. There's actually some really neat stuff in there that I wasn't expecting that they threw at us. So very excited to see what that is going to bring for the future of my parks. There's even sometimes some stuff in there that I'm like, yeah, I'm actually going to use that. You know, it actually surprised me. Some people might, you know, still be naysayers out there that are like, oh, I'll never use that in my parks, you know. But I'm actually heavily considering making like a Ghostbusters theme ride in one of my parks now, just because it's there and the tools are so tempting to use, you know, especially with the dark ride shooting. New shooting dark ride where you can shoot the targets and everything, and you can actually play the game yourself. You can actually ride the ride and shoot at the targets and get high scores and stuff. That is pretty neat. I was really I'm really excited about that aspect of that being in there. So that's pretty cool. But over in here, we actually are going to be working on some bridges here. So this is the bridge to the Roman section, which we will be working on here in just a little bit here as well, because I at least wanted to have the bridge built for the opening, and that's kind of where I was on that, so at least it looked like that. And then I was like, well, this section's not open, so we're gonna close the gate for that, because it's not open just yet. So that's where we're standing on that. And then I was like, well, gotta get a roof on this, because we can't have the monorail station without a roof. And I'm going to do more roof details later on. I just can leave it blank for right now. I just wanted to put a roof on there, and we'll put more details going into that later on as we do some more stuff. So don't worry, we'll get some of that stuff done. It will get done eventually, and as we're still working on it. So I still would like to hear what you guys think in the comments of how many episodes do you think we're going to end up on in Time City. I still think we're going to be ending around the, I don't know, 80s, 90s. There's still potential I could make it to 100. And if that's the case, I would love to make episode 100 the final episode, if possible. If I can time it up that way, that would actually be kind of cool. To be honest, I forgot what episode we're on right now. This is like, we're in the high 70s now, I think. I don't exactly remember. It's actually the longest running series I've ever had on the channel, and that's actually pretty impressive. So, like by a long shot too. I don't think any of my series have ever gone over 70 plus episodes. It's absolutely insane to think about, and I'm just like trying to think of that, like, holy crap, 70 plus episodes in a series, that's just nuts, you know? And, you know, RCT days, I never really got that far into my series. Theme Park Studio, that never happened. Even some of the other parks that I've done didn't even have that many episodes. I think, let's see, what else was there? There was, let's see, there was, let's see, Westwood had around 50 something, but I can't remember if that's right or not. I think it was my second longest running, because I remember Arrow Valley was only like 30 episodes. Arrow Valley was very short, like, for, compared to, something like, Westwood or, Time City even. And, look, interestingly enough, I lost these, fireworks. I don't know where they went. I guess I didn't save it. Now that I think about it, I was kind of like, I guess I didn't save these fireworks because I put these fireworks in, and when I came back to the park, they weren't there. So I'm kind of like, uh-oh, you know, maybe I lost them or something, but I'm not entirely sure. Now that I think of it, maybe I should go back to make sure that I didn't lose any other progress with it and that I saved the game. Because now I'm kind of nervous, like, wait a minute, did I lose that progress because I forgot to save? I'm not entirely sure, but I'm guessing that I must have not saved before this section, because those fireworks were not done. Because as you can see, we go straight into the Roman section now, and this was the latest live stream that I did to work on the Roman section, which we did this little plaza over here by the Colosseum, which turned out pretty cool. And it worked very well. This is kind of like where we mainly work on at the beginning of this part of the time lapse, because I get a little bit of some Theme Maker's Toolkit items, and I absolutely love this wall here, and it works very well as a perimeter fence or wall, as you could use it here, I guess you could say. I wanted to make the Colosseum enterable as well, so I put like this stairway going up to it, so guests can actually go up and walk and watch the Colosseum where the trains pass by. I put some Vista viewpoints there. I don't know if they're gonna use it, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out. If there's just a Vista viewpoint, I don't know if guests actually wander up there, or if there actually has to be something up there for them to have a reason to go up there. Otherwise, they don't usually go around in the areas. That's why you actually have to put stuff, rides, attractions, or even like facilities and, you know, like food places and stuff. Otherwise the guests won't go in that area, which I guess makes sense. But I wish sometimes they would just go in there for the Vista viewpoints. I want to make sure, I hope they do, because I would love to just have guests like up in the Colosseum watching the coasters going through. So I set focal points on those as well. So again, I just hope they use those, but we'll just have to wait and see if they do. So hopefully they do. If they don't, whatever. I did put in a shop right here. I ended up going with a sushi stand, because I thought that'd be, I don't know, fun for one of the hills here. I was like, why not put some shops in here? So I ended up putting that in there. I don't think I'm going to put any more in there. I just wanted to put the one. Maybe at the later date I might put in another one in there. I'm not sure. But they kind of fit kind of nicely in there. And I was like, you know what, that's actually kind of cool. So let's throw that in there. And it actually ended up being kind of a nice little addition in the Colosseum, you know, adding on to the Colosseum. So the Colosseum is pretty cool, and then this area, you just get some great new views of the mock multi-launch coaster in the first place, so pretty awesome like that. And we just do some curb work over here to kind of finish up the look of the path and everything, to make it look nice and completed and cozy, because I wanted to make sure that looked great when in all together. So don't want to leave the paths hanging. You got to try and finish up those as well. So we just kind of do it around the other scenery areas over here. I don't know if there's a special word to kind of use for that, but I was debating whether to put up at least a small fence around here, because, you know, I don't want guests climbing around on the scenery pieces here. I mean, you know, because kids would do that in real life, but just for like a realistic standpoint. But at the same time, I was like, no, I'll just kind of leave it open, you know, for now, you know, just the way it is. I kind of like the way it is, just with the curb, and hopefully, you know, in real life, I guess, wouldn't climb up. If it became an issue, we can always put up fences later on if the park finds it an issue later on. So but for now, we'll do that. So I wanted to put a time portal over here between the Roman section and the sci-fi / futuristic section. I thought it was a good idea, because that way guests don't have to walk all the way around just to get to the section. I mean, it's right there, so we might as well have a time portal going between the two areas, and I thought that actually made a lot of sense. So I thought it was kind of cool. And then there's a lot of empty space on the outside of this path, so I wanted to put up a nice kind of ancient ruin wall that actually worked good. And I love the Theme Maker's Toolkit wall here. It works very, very well, and this is going to be a lot of spots for future expansion and the future. So if I ever want to add on to this section, it'll be easy, because I have all this space to work with. So this area ended up being a lot of paths, and this section actually ended up being pretty big, actually. So there's a lot of stuff I want to keep kind of empty for now, and just kind of leave room for the expansion of the park, you know, for later years down the line. And I think that's a good idea. So you're going to see a lot of these pathways just kind of have a little emptiness to them. Like, this path is going to lead into the area. Maybe someday it will, you know, automatically have some stuff connected to it and different stuff like that. So that way it has more of a purpose of being there, not just like an empty road that leads, you know, all the way over here, so guests don't have to walk so far before they finally find something. Which brought me to the reason why I decided to put a ride here over by this area. And this is actually a condor that I decided to put in here. I thought it actually fit pretty well, so I thought it would be a good addition for this section of the park. And I actually have not used one in one of my parks yet, and from the Classic Rides collection. So, and I went with the classic one and not the new one, because I kind of like the classic one with all the same type of vehicles, and I wanted to make sure they all look the same. And then, of course, we made the wall as the support, and it actually turned out pretty cool. And I had some issues trying to figure out what I was going to do with the exit and entrance with the queues and everything, since it is on a big elevated elevation. So it was kind of tricky to figure out, and I wanted the exit not to have any stairs or any way, shape, or form. So that was kind of interesting to kind of figure out, and I figured it out pretty well. It's kind of pretty spread out, but after we get some scenery and rock work into it, it actually looks pretty cool, to be honest. So all you got to do, like, you can do any kind of queue you want to, as long as you throw in some maybe some rock work and some scenery around it. It actually ends up turning out pretty darn awesome. So so that's always a cool tip that I always kind of would give someone if you're struggling like theming your queues and stuff, especially if you're on elevated paths like this and it just kind of looks weird. Just go in and throw in some rock work as your support for your pathway, and throw in some foliage and scenery in there, and boom, you got yourself a pretty good looking queue, and actually pretty effortlessly as well. You know, all it took was a little bit of natural materials to create something that actually looked really good. So and it didn't need a very long queue, because obviously it's just a flat ride. So I thought the queue was long enough to where it was, and I don't think it will be that popular of a ride, so it will at least serve its purpose. And with its location, I actually think it works really well in this spot. So as long as you get the scenery all well put together and everything like that, it actually works pretty neatly. So I was pretty proud of how this little flat ride turned out. It actually looks pretty good, and I knew I wanted to put at least another flat ride in the section, and it actually turned out pretty nice, so I was pretty happy with the way that turned out. And then just a couple curves here and there, just to kind of finish up the work in this area, in this spot. And yeah, and I ended up with 100% scenery queue rating, so that's a good rating to have, because it makes the ride a little more popular, and they'll be more willing to queue in line if there's a good looking queue. So I was pretty happy with that. So 100% queue scenery rating, and you better bet that we are in good shape. So after the completion of that, I decided to go in and kind of complete some more of the walls going alongside here. And basically what we're going to do is just fill it up with some more foliage and scenery, or scenic items, to kind of just finish up the general vicinity, the area that lies over here. So anything that is not there, we're pretty much just putting a wall in front of it to finish it up. So that's where we're going with this wall. We pretty much just finish it all the way down to the side over here, and it's kind of created its own little area, so it actually looked pretty good. So I was pretty excited about that. So basically that is gonna pretty much do it for this episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more amazing content like this. I will catch you guys in the next episode. And let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of the Roman section. If there's anything else I could add at last second, please let me know in the comments below. I'm not adding like any coasters or anything like that, but for the most part, it's pretty much done. We should have it finished by the next episode, and it's pretty much complete. I just got to do some lighting and finish up some stuff here and there, so that's about it. So anyways, with that being said, thank you guys again for watching. Have a great day, and an even cooler tomorrow, and I will catch you guys in the next live stream or video. Catch you guys tomorrow on the Ghostbusters DLC. But that's it. Goodbye.